Welcome to the complete guide to the Asian tigers. Whether you are a student, a curious beginner, or you just want to finally understand how the economy really works, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you will understand the Asian tigers better than most people ever will. Here is what we will cover. We will start with the very basics, the clear, simple definitions. Then, step by step, we will build up your understanding, using everyday examples and real-world stories, with no complicated jargon and no confusing math. We will look at the causes, the effects, and what it all means for your own money and your daily life. We will also explore real examples from history and from around the world. So get comfortable, and let's dive in together. This is everything you need to know. In just one generation, 4 small Asian economies went from poverty to prosperity, growing so fast the world called them the Asian tigers. They are South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. In the 1960s, some were poorer than parts of Africa. Today, they are wealthy, high-tech powerhouses with incomes rivaling the West. It is arguably the greatest economic growth story in human history. How did they do it? Not with oil or natural resources. They had almost none. Instead, they grew through a powerful formula: exports, education, savings, and smart government. Over this series, we will meet each tiger, uncover the secret formula that transformed them, and ask whether their miracle can ever be repeated. This is the story of how 4 tiny economies roared their way to riches. How did the Asian tigers grow so fast, with no oil and few resources? They followed a powerful, repeatable formula. First, export-led growth. Instead of just selling to their small home markets, they made goods for the whole world, starting with cheap textiles and toys, then climbing up to electronics and cars. Second, they invested massively in education, building highly skilled, disciplined workforces. Third, their people saved huge portions of their income, and that money funded investment in factories and infrastructure. Fourth, they welcomed foreign technology and know-how. And fifth, governments actively guided the economy, picking industries to support and pushing companies to compete globally. Export, educate, save, invest, and guide. This recipe turned 4 poor economies into rich ones in decades. It became the blueprint that much of Asia, including China, would later copy. No Asian tiger's transformation is more dramatic than South Korea's. After the Korean War in the 1950s, it was one of the poorest countries on earth, its cities in ruins, its people hungry. Today, it is a top 15 global economy and a cultural superpower. How? South Korea bet everything on giant family-run conglomerates called chaebols, names like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG. The government backed them, and they conquered global markets in electronics, cars, and shipbuilding. Samsung alone became one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And it did not stop at products. South Korea turned its culture into an export too, with K-pop and Korean cinema conquering the globe. From the ashes of war to the smartphone in your pocket and the music in your ears, South Korea's rise is one of history's great success stories. Here is a stunning fact: a huge share of the world's most advanced computer chips are made on one small island, Taiwan. This is the Asian tiger that quietly became indispensable to the entire planet. Taiwan's secret is a single, extraordinary company, TSMC, the world's largest maker of advanced semiconductors, the tiny chips that power your phone, your car, your computer, and artificial intelligence itself. Almost every major tech company, including Apple and Nvidia, depends on Taiwan's chips. This gives a small island immense global importance, sometimes called its silicon shield. Taiwan climbed the ladder from making cheap goods to mastering the most complex manufacturing on Earth. It proves the tiger formula at its finest: out-educate, out-invest, and out-compete the world in one critical industry, until you become impossible to replace. In 1965, Singapore was a tiny, poor island with no natural resources, not even enough fresh water. Today, it is one of the richest places on the entire planet, with a GDP per person higher than the United States. This may be the most impressive tiger of all. How did a city with nothing become so wealthy? Under its founding leader Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore made itself the perfect place to do business. Low corruption, rock-solid rule of law, a skilled English-speaking workforce, and a strategic port at the crossroads of global trade. It became a magnet for the world's banks, shipping, and multinational headquarters. The government planned relentlessly, investing in housing, education, and industry. Singapore proves a powerful point. A country's greatest resource is not oil or land. It is good governance and the brains of its people. Hong Kong, a small territory on the coast of China, became one of the Asian tigers through a bold idea, almost total economic freedom. For decades, it was famous as the freest market on earth, with low taxes, minimal regulation, and open trade. Businesses flocked there, and Hong Kong became a global hub for finance, shipping, and trade. Its special role was as the gateway to China, the place where Western money and Chinese manufacturing met. As China opened up, Hong Kong became the crucial bridge, handling much of the investment flowing in and out. This made it fabulously wealthy, one of the world's great financial centers. In recent years, Hong Kong's future has grown more uncertain as it integrates more tightly with mainland China. But its rise showed the world just how far pure economic freedom and open trade can take a place. Here is one of the great debates in economics. Did the Asian tigers succeed because of free markets or because of powerful governments? The surprising answer is both. Unlike the pure free market ideal, most of the tigers used what economists call a developmental state. Their governments did not just sit back. They actively picked winning industries, directed banks to lend to them, protected young companies until they were strong, and pushed them to export and compete globally. Yet at the same time, they embraced markets, competition, and trade, and let private companies chase profit. It was a careful marriage of state guidance and market forces. The government set the direction, but businesses did the racing. This hybrid model challenged Western ideas that governments should stay out of the economy, and it became the template for the greatest growth stories of modern Asia. If the Asian tigers had one true secret weapon, it was this: their people. With almost no natural resources, they invested everything in human capital, the skills, knowledge, and discipline of their workers. Education became a national obsession. Families poured savings into schooling, students studied ferociously, and governments built world-class education systems. Today, students in South Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore regularly top the global rankings in math and science. This created workforces that could not just assemble cheap products, but design advanced technology, engineer semiconductors, and compete at the highest level. It is the deepest lesson of the tigers. A country with no oil, no gold, and no farmland can still become rich if it builds the minds of its people. In the modern economy, brains beat resources. The tigers proved it beyond any doubt. The tigers seemed unstoppable until 1997, when disaster struck. After years of booming growth, money had flooded into Asia, and a lot of it was hot, short-term foreign investment. Confidence was sky-high, debts were piling up, and asset prices were bubbling. Then confidence cracked. It began in Thailand, as investors suddenly pulled their money out and dumped the local currency. Panic spread like wildfire across the region. Currencies collapsed, stock markets crashed, banks failed, and economies that had grown for decades suddenly plunged into deep recession. The International Monetary Fund had to step in with massive bailouts. The Asian financial crisis was a brutal lesson that rapid growth built on heavy foreign debt can reverse with terrifying speed. The tigers survived and reformed their financial systems, but they never forgot how close the miracle came to collapse. The success of the Asian tigers inspired a new generation to follow the same path, and economists call them the tiger cubs. These are the fast-growing economies of Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Malaysia. They are now doing exactly what the original tigers did decades ago, attracting factories, boosting exports, and lifting millions out of poverty. Vietnam in particular has become a star, as global companies shift manufacturing there, partly to reduce their dependence on China. With young, growing populations, rising education, and eager workforces, the tiger cubs have enormous potential. They represent the next chapter of the Asian growth story. If they can follow the formula, exports, education, savings, and smart governance, and avoid the mistakes, some of these cubs may one day grow up into the economic tigers of tomorrow. The Asian tigers are more than a success story. They are a lesson book for every poor country dreaming of getting rich. What do they teach? First, that development is possible. Countries are not doomed to stay poor forever. Dramatic change can happen in a single generation. Second, that you do not need natural resources. Brains, effort, and good policy matter more than oil or gold. Third, that openness works. Connecting to the global economy through trade and exports beats hiding from it. Fourth, that education is the ultimate investment. And fifth, that stable, capable, honest government is essential. Corruption and chaos kill growth. The tigers did not get lucky. They made deliberate choices and stuck with them for decades. Their greatest gift to the world is proof that with the right formula, extreme poverty can be turned into lasting prosperity. So, are the Asian tigers still roaring today? Yes, but the fierce young tigers have become mature, wealthy economies, and with that comes new challenges. Their explosive growth has naturally slowed. They are rich now, and rich economies grow more gently. They face serious headwinds. Aging populations and some of the lowest birth rates in the world mean shrinking workforces. Sky-high housing costs and inequality strain their societies. And they live in the shadow of a giant neighbor, China, both a huge opportunity and a growing rival. Taiwan faces political tension, Hong Kong a changing identity. Yet these are still among the most innovative, best educated, and wealthiest economies on Earth. And they keep adapting, moving into AI, green tech, and advanced services. The tigers may no longer sprint like they once did, but they are far from finished. They are simply roaring in a new, more powerful way. Let's quickly recap everything we've learned. 1. What are the Asian tigers? 2. The growth formula. 3. South Korea. 4. Taiwan. 5. Singapore. 6. Hong Kong. 7. The role of the state. 8. Education and human capital. 9. The 1997 crisis. 10. The tiger cubs. 11. Lessons for the world. 12. Are they still roaring? Put all of these together, and you now have a complete, solid understanding of the whole topic. You have gone from the basics all the way to the real-world picture. Well done for making it to the end. And that is the complete picture. You now understand the Asian tigers from the ground up better than most people ever will. If this video helped you, please do 3 quick things for me. First, hit the subscribe button. It is completely free, and it is the single best way to support this channel and help us keep making clear, simple economics videos for everyone. Second, share this video with a friend, a classmate, or anyone who is trying to understand the economy. You might really help them out. And third, leave a comment and tell me which topic you would like me to explain next. I read every single one. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. It truly means a lot. Take care, keep learning, and I will see you in the very next video.